My name is David Gosselin, and I'm a candidate for the Republican National Committee chairmanship. The National Republican Committee is made up of 3 persons from each state, Washington, D.C., and several other island jurisdictions. It's a National Committee man and a National Committee woman, and then a state chairman. Many years ago, I served as Republican state chairman in New Hampshire, and I was a member of the National Committee. I think I have some feel for the National Party organization, and it is because of that that after the election, when John McCain lost to Barack Obama, I decided to throw my hat into this ring. The President of the United States, historically, in the Republican Party, chooses the national chairman. And I felt that because of Senator McCain's loss and President Bush's exit, that there would be a vacuum and that members of the National Committee would be attentive to concerns of other Republicans who were candidates trying to make their case for leadership of the party. Many, many years ago, in fact, over 30 years ago, I was on a private aircraft flying from New Hampshire to New York City with Governor John Connally and his wife Nellie. Governor Connally asked me what my business was. I told him I had managed as a field director, a congressional campaign, that I had served as assistant to the Speaker of the New Hampshire House. In a staff position, I mentioned that I had been executive director of the Republican Party and Republican chairman. And the governor again asked me, he said, well, what was your business? And I said, well, later I was involved in a gubernatorial campaign. I worked on a special U.S. Senate election. He looked at me and he said, you know, because I had told him previously that I had been a candidate 2 years before in the Republican primary for Congress. He said, it's a good thing you didn't get elected. I looked at him and I was a little puzzled, and he said, you know, we have too many people in Washington who don't know and don't understand business. Well, John Connally was right, and I've spent the last 30-plus years getting an education in business, running an estate planning and insurance firm, and dealing with companies of all sizes and businesses of all types. There's one thing I know something about, and that is money. I understand money, and I understand its uses. And the Republicans got clobbered in the last cycle. We, in fact, got overwhelmed by money. And that's going to be part of what I will talk about during my upcoming campaign. A short campaign, it'll last about 6 to 7 weeks before the election on January 28th, 29th, at the meeting in Washington of the National Republican Committee. It's their winter meeting. I hope during the weeks ahead to have a weekly video with members of the National Committee. This website is really for them and for their benefit as an educational tool to tell what I want to do, what I think needs to be done. But I would also ask that you would call me. You'd go to my website, and that you would call me if you want to talk about a specific issue. As national chairman, I'll make it a point to be available to my prime constituency. It's the members of the Republican National Committee. But enough of this. I want to wish you all a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas, and I hope to have a chance to visit with you in the future.